Michael Douglas, son of Kirk Douglas, of course. You don't mind?
Oh no, I don't
throw
mind
that
at all.
in.
No, I just never hear that. I wonder how many more pictures I got to make.
Well, I don't think that you should feel you should be proud of your father, which I'm sure you are.
I am.
And I think we all would be happy if people knew both of us. No one knows my father. I wish they did, because he was a great guy. So I didn't do that to diminish your talent.
I'm teasing. But it is funny, because what happens is that no matter what you do, there's always that piece that, you know, just deprives you a little bit from feeling like it's a total satisfying thing. It's always a little piece, well, it's the father's son. But I'm used to it by now.
But you're as much a producer as an actor, it seems to me. Did it just happen, or is that what you really prefer?
No, it solely came out of Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, I had no intention of producing at all. I just was fortunate enough because my father had Cuckoo's Nest and was going to sell it. I took it over. And that was one picture that I wanted to make because I loved it so much. Then we won the Academy Award, and I was a producer. So I set up offices. You know, I had my Oscar in the back. I set up offices. One of the first scripts that came in was the China Syndrome. I said, I don't know. I looked for a couple of months, and it kept haunting me. So I went back to the China Syndrome and started it, but that was 3 years ago.
Now, television news, where do you live?
I live in Los Angeles.
Which is the home of some of the worst television news, it seems to me, that there is, in terms of informing people about what's important for life.
Absolutely.
Was that a part of your decision to make this movie?
It wasn't originally, no, because in the original script, we did not deal with the television aspect of news. That got involved when Jane Fonda came into the project, and we discussed it. However, I had a personal bugaboo, because when I was doing the Streets of San Francisco series, I was constantly attacked for violence on television, when in fact I thought that the local news shows were more responsible for promoting violence, because the first thing they went for was a blood stain of that you know, bloody, grisly murder, the decapitation of the head. And for me, I saw that this was a spot where crazies could get a chance to get on air. The test that I had seen had shown kids recognized an hour cops and robbers show as that. And I grew up with the cavalry chasing the Indians, and never bothered me. So I had a little bugaboo there, but the whole news aspect of the show really came about with our discussions with Jane Fonda and Jimmy Bridges, the director, later on.
Well, it's very frightening to those of us in the business who try to be serious about it, and happily I work for a station who does take the whole thing very seriously and has resisted the whole franchise happy talk format, so I can talk. Unfortunately, too many people can't. But what bothers me is that we're talking about the prostitution of the messenger for the American people. I wonder what your perspective of that is, from being a movie maker and an actor and a producer.
Well, from my end, I'm sort of relieved. I've been able to make two fairly controversial pictures, Cuckoo's Nest and now the China Syndrome with a major studio without any interference at all. So that to me, I'm seeing the value of films in a whole other light, which I never quite believed that I would see, if you know what I'm saying. That there is a creativity and a control of creativity that now I want to fight for more than ever before. As far as television, or particularly television news, it seems to be getting, as you say, much more of a magazine format. And this ratings wars, particularly with local news stations going on, is one of the most destructive things I've ever seen.
Well, but you get your news from television and newspapers too. I mean, even though you have wealth and power relatively in our society, you still are at the mercy of purveyors of information.
Right. And one of the things that we talk about in the China Syndrome is the fact of what news you actually get. And you realize to a large extent that you get news that is fed to the news people. I mean, you get, when a press conference is held, that's news. When they don't want to have a press conference or don't want you to know about it, you don't know about it.
And
so I think one of the things that we try to promote in the China Syndrome is the investigative reporting ability, and for news stations to promote that.
But also another thing to discuss is that it comes out of an industry which is really not that high on the scale of ethics in the American people's minds either, the movie industry.
Right. Well, I think that's somewhat of an unfair rap. ex-president of Columbia Pictures who made this film was the man that was indicted on those charges, David Beagleman. On the other hand, I have seen tiny squibs on the 23rd page of newspapers about people that have embezzled 10 times as much as David Beagleman ever did, without the kind of national news, television reporting, or front-page news that David made. And I think that we are a prime suspect for whatever that glamour aura is about our marriages and divorces, and about any of our financial dealings that is magnified much more on the scale than any other business that I know of.
Right. However, I think you should be magnified. We should be magnified. I include television news in that because we have so much more impact on people.
That's true. That's true, Joe.
Now, we haven't taken the responsibility that we should assume. I think the media in this country has to assume much more responsibility for themselves and what they do, and stop acting like privileged characters in dispensing this information, or we're going to lose it all. Television versus movies. You were in a series and you've made a movie. Which has more impact on people?
More impact? Well, television, because of the exposure and the amount. Very few films do. So I think television probably does.
You can't see Streets of San Francisco on our station, but what the heck? Is it reruns? Is it finished?